Well, Swatch, I do buckaroos, and how the heck are you? So here's what I have here, and I kind of did this a little backwards because I was dying to try something. But anyway, I have the Four Fingers Barrel Proof Rye Whiskey at 108 proof, Distiller Select, Indianapolis, Indiana. So yeah, I had an idea, and I wanted to. Didn't necessarily have to be this whiskey, but I wanted to use this one to do a kind of a fall cocktail, apple spice or fall spiced apple that I used with this, some homemade simple, and some Laird's Applejack. But then I had to go back and do this neat and on the rocks, which is what I'm doing with you right now. But because I don't want any more melt off than needed, I'm going to start with the rocks. And I've got 1 ounce rocks, 1 ounce neat. Wow. I don't typically do this. I usually have one and the other, but I've got to have a sip here. Then I'm going to go back to there because I'm curious about something. It's a very interesting nose. Almost feels like I get a hint of maple in there. Oh, that's gorgeous. A nice chewy rye. Yeah, but wow. Get a little bit of sweetness towards the end, but we don't really feel that 108 at all. I'm going to focus on this, and we'll go back to that later. But I was just curious about something there. Rocks usually take some of that chewy away, but it didn't, and I was really intrigued by that. Also, the maple. There's a little bit of maple in there. It kind of surprised me. It could be just me, I will admit. Feeling some maple in there. I grew up a bourbon drinker. My dad only had 3 whiskeys in the house. It was was Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and we can have that argument later where if Jack Daniels is a bourbon or not. But nevertheless, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, and Wild Turkey. That's all we had in the house. Well, it's all he drank. Let me say that. Sometimes friends would bring some other stuff over. I know somebody gifted him a bottle of Old Crow once, and that bottle sat there till the end of time. He's not opening that Crow, baby. So anyway, I grew up a bourbon drinker, and it's only been about the last 3 years maybe that I've really started to delve into rye whiskeys. And I tell you, the more I do, the more I enjoy them. Because I always preferred anyway, as popular as wheated bourbons are. And of course, I would never turn down a shot of Pappy's. It is good, but I do prefer traditional with the rye as a secondary. I think there's a reason you need that rye, and that's to keep that corn in check. But what that wheated bourbon does, in all honesty, it does give you a sweet product, but it also gives you a softer body. And I think a lot of, especially when I talk to younger drinkers, that's what they like, is that sweeter product and softer body. Whereas a lot of older folks like myself that prefer traditional, like that balance of the rye spice, especially a high rye bourbon. And when I started buying high rye bourbons, then I kind of made that jump to just buying rye whiskeys. And I would always use my rye bourbon or high rye bourbon when I was making a Manhattan. Then I started making old fashions. But when you start doing them with the rye, you really get a quite different product. Show you that color. That's gorgeous. Open this bottle to have that cocktail and then to do this, but I'm going to tuck this away for a while now. It's kind of what I typically do. I open it and I kind of forget about it and I open something else. I try to have several open at a time and several not open. I'm not a collector, so I'm not a guy that has 200 whiskeys in his house. But at the moment, I have more than typical because I just returned from vacation and I bought a little more than I intended on. And part of that was because I thought this might be, one of those once in a lifetime kind of trips. So, we were able to do something we hadn't done before. I just kind of wanted to buy enough stuff to last me a while. And we didn't hit a lot of liquor stores, to be honest with you. I was kind of buying at the distilleries, one bottle here, one bottle there, and it just kind of added up. Till we got home, I started counting. I was, that's a lot. But I probably won't need to buy any for a while. That's the good news. But just before vacation, I opened my last unopened bottle. So we're hoping this will go to their next vacation anyway. This is a very enjoyable product. I did have a good time at the distillery there in Indianapolis. I had a flight there, and the bartender there was very friendly, very knowledgeable. Quite frankly, I could have spent several hours there. I probably spent about an hour there, but I had other places I was really trying to get to. But if I had it to do it again, I wouldn't hit so many there. I would just kind of revisit 2 places and call it from there. That's the problem when you try to get too much in on one day. You don't get all the. Just trying to get to too many places at one time. I had one day to get all this in, and I was trying to get it all in. But if I do get back to Indianapolis, Four Fingers is one I would really like to get to. And I'm known mostly as a beer guy, but I'm a whiskey guy as well. Hotel Tango, I had an enjoyable experience there as well. Again, very friendly, very knowledgeable, fine product. And I'd like to revisit Chili Water because I only had one beer there and I brought some stuff to go, but 1 4-pack to go. Again, I didn't want to buy too much because that was our first stop, so I didn't want to really load up. But that's, if I go again, I'm not going to try to hit a whole bunch in one day because I ended up hitting like 5 breweries and 2 distilleries in one day. But I wasn't having a lot at one spot. It was just too much. I should have just sat and enjoyed myself at any one spot. But if I get back there, I'll probably just try to hit those 3 spots and that's it. I do feel of the places that I went, those were the 3 that had the best customer service. And that's really what brings me back. Chili Water had great customer service, as did Hotel Tango and Four Fingers, so I would definitely be back. Some other places I had good customer service as well. Just for me, being a customer service guy, wasn't quite on that same level as those 3 places. This has a great nose on it, man. Just a very enjoyable product. As our weather gets cooler as it is today, I was going to go outside to do this video because we've been rather warm for this time of year, to be honest with you. But it kind of seems like it cooled down in a hurry. And it's not that it's that cold, it's just so much cooler than it has been. It feels really cold. I was going to go outside, but it was a little chillier than I expected. I didn't want to fight with the bugs. But as we get more into fall, you're going to see me drink more whiskey. Also, the beers I drink are going to change dramatically. And that's kind of the problem with the product that I bought, because I bought stuff Well, because it was rather warm when we were out there, so I bought what I was feeling at that moment. I didn't really realize what I was buying until we got home and I got everything unpacked. I bought a whole lot of a whole lot of IPAs, which is not necessarily anything wrong with that. But now the weather's cold and I'm thinking a different direction. But I did pick up some stouts as well, and so that's what I will kind of be getting into. However, the IPAs tend to not have um, the same shelf life as, say, a barrel aged stout. So I know those IPAs that I bought, I'm really going to have to start getting to. I did give a lot away, though. I bought some. The reason I bought a lot of IPAs was for a couple friends, anyway, to make sure they had some product, and the people I work for wanted them to try some product. But I'm kind of going a long way around the barn to tell a story, but that's kind of what I do. But the point was we're at that time of the year where I'm going to be getting into more product like this. But I do have one other Four Fingers product, their single malt whiskey. But I don't want to open that now. I'm going to wait till the next holiday, right? It'll either be right before or after Thanksgiving, or right before or after Christmas, depending on what else I'm opening at the time and what happens. But I'm going to, at the very minimum, I'm not going to open it before Black Friday. Let's say that. Well, that's not true. I may open it Thanksgiving Day. But it won't get open before Thanksgiving. And I got a few of those products in that realm. Some are going to be open around Thanksgiving, some Christmas, some New Year's. But that malt whiskey I wanted to hang on to. But I was dying to try this rye. I wanted to try it in that cocktail, being at 108. I wanted to see how it reacted to that cocktail, and it was gorgeous. But I'm telling you, drinking this neat, probably at least 80% of this bottle is going to be drank neat now that I've had it this way, because it is just such a brilliant product. The flavors, the aromas, I love the chewiness, I love the spicy. Just a hint of sweetness early on. I'm still feeling maple. That's got to be just me, but I really feel a maple note. You're surely going to find some vanilla in there. You're going to pick up some spice from the barrel. The rye is going to provide some spice, but you're going to get some barrel spice as well. So don't be surprised if you feel some ginger, some cinnamon, some allspice, maybe even some nutmeg right in the finish. So anyway, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, premier with all around good guy, Slancha. That's nummy, man.